I couldn't live in a town, or I wouldn't live in a townhouse or a town or a city. Farmer, and I get up here every morning. If I hadn't that to go out to, don't know what I'd do with myself. I'll do that in the day. We used to go to town of a Saturday or go to town with my father on the tractor, and he'd have neighbours home with him. And on the back of the tractor the whole way home, they'd be telling me, I'd be only a young grass, they'd be telling you all these stories of the black and tans, and there's information for you. But from within 1 year and out the other. If we had have equipment to tape them men, you could write a book on the history. I was born and bred on the farm here, and look, from you were fit to walk, you were out to farm. And my mother was going home to milk cows. My father wasn't that interested in milking. He'd be way, he dealt in pigs all the time. The most sheds along the lane were full of pigs, and every house was a place with pigs. But she come from a milking background, and then she milked the cows here. He'd have to help. We'd all milk cows. But when we were all young, there was 7 of us here, and my mother would take 2 or 3 of us out, and we'd tie you, there's a wee strap on your thing around your hair, and she just, at the door, there's a wee thing, and she'd clip you on. And if you started crying, she sprayed the milk at you. There was hand milk in that time.
What part of Monaghan is this? This is what's known as the Drumlands, isn't it?
This is a town now called Grey Lattacoppel. It's the full length of the town, 18 letters. Yeah. This side of my farm is fairly level. One half of the farm, the other half, you see, it's all rocky land.
Can you tell us a little bit about that mass?
That mass rock, back in the 1730s to the 1750s and 60s, they used to say mass on that. When the black and tans was about, you weren't allowed to say mass that time. But in the 1750s, 60s, around the 1770s, the priest used to say mass in Monaghan, and then he was the laying wait on a bridge up there and killed him on the way down. Then somebody else had the same mass, but there was always lookouts around the mountain, around different places. Yeah. We lookouts that time, just to see if anyone was coming, that nobody could come in on them. And then it lay there for years. My grandfather told my father, and my father told me about it. No, 2 uncles of mine left here when they were young, when they were 16 or 17 years of age or less. Matty, we never seen him. He went to Canada. He was gone a day before they come here. They come to burn this house, the Black and Tans. They tried to burn the house here. But another uncle of mine, Danny, went to America. Now, he was home in 66, I think, again. And a son of his comes, I go out to him regular, he comes here regular. He's Danny Keelan as well. And he's now, he must be in his 70s now. But they missed him being out. And they would have shot him if they'd get him here. I played darts. I was a good dart player at the time, and I was playing darts 4 or 5 nights a week. We were winning the right few prizes playing darts as well. We put together a 5-a-side team, and we travelled a good bit of Ireland. £500 was mostly the norm, an odd £1,000 competition. We nearly won every one we went into.
Who's that behind you? I know I should know.
Phil Taylor.
Phil Taylor.
The greatest player, the greatest sportsman ever walked the face of the earth.
Yeah.
17 times champion of the world.
Yeah.
Eric Bristow died there last year. I used to go and meet them and sit down and have a drink with them. I played against Olden boys. Yeah. I played Bristow. We went to Merthyr Tydfil in Wales, and we were county players. I was just starting to play with the county at that time. I was just established with the county team. We played in the Welsh Open.
You played for the Monaghan team?
Yeah. I captained the Monaghan team for years.
Right, yeah.
And played in the Welsh Open, and I got through to the last 4 in it. And that qualified me in to play in the European Championships.
Yeah.
And I played Eric Bristow in the first round. Had him bet.
Yeah.
I missed it out at 8-8. And he came in and finished it. He won it. He bet Jockey Will.
So you had the killer instinct anyway?
I missed me double. I got one of them scholarships into agricultural college when I was 17. And then I came back home here. And the following year then I was in Monaghan. And there was things going on that time where you could go to 3 months to work on another farm. So the opportunity come to go for 3 months to Holland, and I went to Holland and worked in late 73 in Holland. We went to Brussels first, stayed a week in Brussels, which was great. Went on then to the farm, I stayed with him for 3 months and come back, stayed 3 or 4 days in Brussels and then come home. A few years after that, my father, then he come pension age out there, and then he signed the farm into my name. And I milked away at cows here until about the middle 70s. And I got up one morning and I just said, I'm going to milk no more cows. Went away to work. I always worked as well. And you're milking here 7 days a week, 365 days a year. There was nobody to help you that time. Different thing now, you have all these men with this farm relief and all this. There was no farm relief that time. Like if you were away to somewhere for the weekend, you couldn't go away, you had to be here to milk. There was no one here. I had no one to cover for me. No one to milk the cows, no one to do anything. If I wasn't here, it wasn't done. I worked on the local water scheme for a year. Then they were doing the lane. I worked 3.5 years on the council because they were doing a new lane to the house that I got into the council. And then after that, I took the milking serious for a few years, and then I went off to work again. The milking was grand, but you were here every day of the week. Off to work, you're meeting people and doing things. You know, 97 then I quit milking. But already most of the cows that come from there, I bought a real good bull, bought him down in the south of Ireland. He come from Kilkenny, and them cow that makes the mail, Red Mills. Red Mills Down was the name of him, Conley's Red Mills. He was a smasher, I had him for 9 years. Well, I enjoyed the milking when I was at it, and I missed it for a year or two after I quit it. But I missed the money, missed the steady check coming in, but I liked the limousines. I had them all my life. You see, if you're out there through them, you see they're very quiet.
Yeah.
There's no jumping or leaping or going mad. There was a few wild ones years ago, but I sort of moved them out.
You seem to have a fair bit of silage stock.
I made the first cut in June, early June, and then I made a second cut in September. Made 91 bales in September. That was a bonus. But I made hay over on Frank's in the Connacht that I had this year. Made 132 bales of hay and 240 or 50 wee square bales. But it'll just be tight, tight enough, yeah. If there's an early spring, I'm right.
You're in the agricultural catchments programme since 2009.
That's right.
And I remember the very first day I would have approached you, and we actually have the rain gauge on your land.
He come round and explained the whole thing to us, and I asked him what was the benefits to us. And there was a lot of benefits according to him. So I said, right. And then he said, that would I be interested in putting a weather gauge on the land? And I said, well, yeah. What does it contain? And he explained to me just a thing the size of the kitchen here, and a lad like a white bucket sitting in the middle of it, and somebody come and do readings. So I said, that's fine, walk away. If it's a wee bit of land, you're not going to miss that. And it's gone on since the Tom come here, and he'd be advising me to lime land and to looking at silage and looking at cattle, and we sit down and have the tea here regular. And
the reason why we picked that site was because it's one of the highest part of the catchments. And what's actually very interesting is that's the range of rainfall over the years, right? You can see the big difference, right?
Got advice from different ones coming here over the years. And they'd meet them and you talk to them and get to know them, and they'd walk the land with you and look at soil sampling and look at liming and advise you to do this or that. Sometimes you took advice and sometimes you didn't, depending. But you met people from other parts of the country with a different outlook on land than we had round here, which was great. And like there's ladies or women come here from down in Offaly, and ones coming from Waterford and Kildare, and different ones from Chequers was round here. They give you a different outlook on things. You're aware then of not spraying stuff, you know yourself, you do things a wee bit better when you learn about things, and you do things, instead of putting out slurry in wet weather and stuff like that, you try and put out in dry weather, and you keep away from spraying, then keep away from old trucks or rivers or anything. Not that there's that many on me land altogether, that's, yourself, but you try and keep away from things, and you learn about things, and you try to do things a wee bit better. We were up to Dunleer, we met the ones up at their catchment area up there. Went to a goat farm, went to different things and met them, and had a good old trip. And then there was a couple of trips away where we went down and we met the other ones from Tipperary and Cork, Wexford. And we went over then another year, last year went over to the ones as well as going down to Tipperary, come back up and over to the one in Attenborough, and on up there to that farm there, to the sheep place, and on up to the one in Mayo. Met farmers over there, seen things in sheds that we come home and look here in your own sheds, and different wee bits and pieces. Then you get to know people, and they were great crack and different ideas about farming. You met dairymen, you met men that done barley, corn, all that sort of stuff. You met suckling men, you met beef men that was very, very good at their job. Well, they talked good anyway about it. And it was all farmers, and there was young ones too, but mostly men our age. And there was good crack and good banter among them, and you'd hear them bits and pieces now, yourself, and there'd be a bit of outcry, but there was serious talk as well done about farming and about stuff. Yeah, it was a great benefit, all right, and it was something to look forward to and enjoy. And you were getting information without having to go and pay for it or look for it. It was coming to you, you know yourself. There was always somebody calling here too that maybe look and see and ask you when, how's the thing going the year, how's the cattle going, how's this going, how's that going, and they'd give you a bit of input into how things was happening down the country and happening in other places, and prices, and you talk different things. It was always, you sit down and had a chat with them here different times. Sometimes they'd be in a hurry, sometimes they'd stay and talk to you, but there was always a lot of people calling. I like the farming. I go to stay with sisters of mine there at Christmas and birthday parties and things. You go that evening and you sit about for a while, and then you go out that night and have the meal, or go to the pub, whatever to do, come back. The next morning you're just walking, moping about from 9 or 10 o'clock, and you just 12, 1 o'clock you go home. I couldn't live in a town, or I wouldn't live in a townhouse or a town or a city or anywhere. Farming, and I get up here every morning. If I hadn't that to go out to, I don't know what I'd do with myself. I'll do that in the day.